Welcome, Kåre, to Metalladium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about In the Woods, a classic from Norway, because I remember when I listened for the first time Omnio in the 90s. So now you are releasing the new album, The Person. So we will talk about the band, this new album, and other things related to the metal world. Starting with a common question: how have you been during these crazy times? Because we started a pandemic 2 years ago. Now, war in Europe, a curious thing. So, who knows what happened next couple of years? Alien invasion, zombie apocalypse, the machine takes the power.
Yeah, it's been tough, like with the pandemic when it all came, and we all had to be separated. We couldn't we had to cancel concerts. We couldn't get together and write music, and luckily now it's been good here for this year, and of course with the war, it's not something we really, it's not affecting our everyday life here for now, but you never know how it's going to escalate.
Yes. So, can we say that this new album, Diversum, was composed and written during the pandemic, or was it when the last album was, well, perhaps a year later when the album released Seas of the Sixth Day? Perhaps you start to compose this new album.
Yeah, we started the first riffs and like ideas was done like I think I like memories of it like mid 2019, so it was a few months after Seize the Day was released, and the drums was being recorded in December 2020, so that was when there was a light break in the pandemic here, and we could be in the same room without breaking any rules.
Okay. Well, when you entered the band in 2018, so with the bass player, with Niels, and with Bernie too. So how have you how do you feel to enter the band? And 4 years later, you are releasing your second album with the band.
I joined in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been many years. I was not a part on the Pure album, but I was there when it was being recorded and mixed and mastered. But it's a very changed from Pure till now Diversum. It's a very different band, and with only Anders Cobra left from those guys. And with Seize the Day, we still have a Bernd and Anders and me. Mm-hmm. And now later we got for the shows we did in 2019 live, we had Nils on bass, and with the former singer James, and we that's where the idea came from, like with Diversum, and when James decided to leave the band, we got this amazing local talent, local talent. It sounds wrong, but like this very good local metal singer, and yeah, it kind of wrote itself when we started doing it this way, because this is like the first In the Woods album, well, since I don't think that everyone that played on each record have done it live, so it's one of the first doing that. So what you get on the vinyl is what you get on stage, so that's very interesting and different for what this band has done before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are your opinion inside and outside In the Woods? Because before you enter in the band, you were a fan of the band. Oh, like I said in the first question, you were a fan like me from Omnio, great album from the band. But now you are part of the band. So what is your opinion, like outsider, like a fan of the band, and now insider?
Well, when I moved to Kristiansand, this town, there was 3 bands that I got to know. It was number 1 In the Woods, Green Carnation, and Blood Red Throne, which is like the 3 bands that are out or have produced good records, are out traveling, playing concerts. And it was only by like I met Anders Kåre. We did a cover concert thing together, and that's how we ended up starting talking about me coming into the band. And I didn't know much about the band. I listened a lot to Omnio, and I didn't really know how well other people liked In the Woods until I joined, till I got in, like people got in contact with me and saying all wonderful things, and so it's been very much fun, and people have been very nice to me as the new guy. I'm not anymore, but then back then. So it feels like it's more, how can you say, bigger on the inside, if you understand.
I understand. So, well, you enter to the band, you are releasing 2 albums with this new one, Diversum. So, but a common thing around the world is that usually the fans has a preferred one into the discography of the band, because what is this normally, because you think perhaps like that when you hear for the first time rock, metal, jazz, etc., you prefer always the first album from the band. So, and usually when a new release of the In the Woods release is present or show up in the social media, some comments always say that please come back to the Omnio era, etc., this kind of stuff. So what's your opinion about this? So do you think that the first 2 albums from the Omnio are the great works until today, or perhaps it's a cliche like all bands says now? So perhaps the Diversum is the best work until today from In the Woods. So for you, what is your opinion about these aspects in Anna contemplating about the fans, your way of thinking, or the band thinking?
Yeah, I mean, of course, people. Those records were brilliant, and they're written down in history as very good records. And for the people that wrote the music and performed the music, for them to be involved in this band and project now, it's nothing that's gonna happen. It's and it's been it's a part of In the Woods history to it's different lineup, and people tend to forget it, because you had young Kenneth, the singer, and you had Chris and Christopher Botteri, but they didn't necessarily play on everything, because there was other people also involved in the band. But the lineup changed from album to album, and people tend to forget that. So it's been we meet sometimes either in real life or on the internet, that we want the old band back, and this is not In the Woods as we know it. And we're like, yeah, we understand, or I understand, that you want this band the lineup that did Omnio, because they're all very, very good musicians. But it's the constant moving element of In the Woods it was never the same lineup on any of those 3 first records. It changed. The vocals stayed the same, but they're so different, music wise, because different writing, different players, everything. And with now Pure, Seize the Day, and now Diversum, you get the same. It's, of course, we have a change in vocals, but it's a new era. It's what we have traveled around for 6 years now, convincing people of that this is who we are, this is what we do now. And with 3 last show we had with the new singer thing. So people accept it, and of course we can't do anything about the fans that want the old lineup. It's understandable, but we are also on the way making new fans and new people that really check out the new stuff, and then they go back and check the older music. But like we play we play from songs from Heart of the Ages, we play songs from Omnio live, we play songs from Seize the Day and Diverse, and we don't play anything from Pure by now as of now, but you never know.
Okay. No, talking about the work of Anders on drums, who is the last member of the band since the beginning, since 1991. So who were in charge now of the composition of all of these diverse? Perhaps you take the guitar with Niels, with the Burn to do this kind, or perhaps Anders create the guitar parts and give you his point of view and change the situation, or how is the process in general of this new album?
This new album, Bernd, the other guitar player, yes, this is almost like he wrote like the structures and we can say riffs for this album. He set it up, and it's just cool. Yeah, we like this, and then things change a little bit when Anders is recording drums, and when he asks us if we're happy with the result, then we move on to adding melodies, adding type spices, and like the song. We can start off with a sketch of it, but when it's finished, it's something way more different because we all had our input. It's not one person that's, let's say, in charge of everything at all. It's all now with this last record, it's the 5 of us.
Great. So into this matter, the path of In the Woods always seemed interesting to me because I see it since you started, since the band started in 1991 and released the Heart of Ages, you have this kind of mix with the black metal, doom metal stuff at the beginning. Now you change completely with Omnia and complete the era, the doom metal era. So then you change with modern sounds, talking about the Pure, Season and Day. So perhaps, but with this new diversion, you lost the black metal part since the beginning. So perhaps in someday you will take all influence to do new records. Perhaps the black metal return.
Yeah. Well, like I think it's very important to state that on Diversum we have kept elements that made music-wise, like guitar-wise and stuff. We have kept some of the ways that chords was being played in a more black metal style. We took those things with us into Diversum as well, but the overall product is not black metal, but it has roots and elements from that first record, even like the Isle of Men demo. It all have elements you can find on Diversum when it comes to the drums, guitar, bass. But this record was a record we made because we wanted to. This is the record we felt that was something we wanted. We didn't set out to make a certain type of album. We just wrote the songs, and when it was put together, that's what it turned out to be. And yeah, we talked about it, that we could probably go down and write a very heavy black metal album if we wanted to, but we're not sure if that's what we really want to do. If it does so, it comes naturally when we start the writing process and recording process of the next album.
Okay. So, well, it's very curious thing because when I spoke with the book, I don't remember the name from the vocals from Green Carnation, but when I spoke last year with him, he told me that about the influence into the Norway because Norway is usually known as the black metal country around the world. But it's a curious see that the In the Woods is not a black metal band. It's more like doom, progressive, rock
Yeah.
sometimes, this kind of stuff. So how do you see this kind of music now in Norway? Because Norway is more open now than the 90s. 90s is more
Yeah.
close to the black metal, but now you have more way to spur your music, no?
Yeah, I mean, uh, that first Heart of the Ages, you know, got the. It was like, yeah, it was black metal, but still not. If you, it's very hard to explain. Of course, I wasn't there, but you know, as a fan and listening to the music, it took you know the harsh vocals and all that, but then again, it had very nice and beautiful melodies and very nice vocal lines with clean vocals, like yearning the seeds of a new dimension. And like it has so many elements to it. From it goes from very very down and quiet and nice, and then it goes you know into a more black metal type thing. Today there's so many bands around, but I think to get you know the typical black metal, you have to go to the 90s, to those bands that are still going, you know, like Mayhem and Satyricon. And even though them they even you know slide sometimes over to you know playing a little bit doom and rock even, as you said.
Okay. Okay, well, the next question is, I think, one of the hardest one because when I usually ask this question, especially for the metal bands or the metal musicians, they told me that it's impossible to answer this question. But for the new generation, it's possible because as you can see now, the digital platforms are the best way to hear music with Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, and more digital platforms. So with this, the new generation talking about people of 30 years, 25 or 15 years, they prefer to listen to music with one, two, three songs. We are returning to the well, we're on a cyclic time because in the 40s, in the 50s, the music just listen with one, two, three, or singles in the
Yeah.
radios in around the world. But now we are returning to this aspect in the world. So for you, if we try to lay this aspect for you, which song, especially one, capture the whole essence from this diversion?
Ooh. I understand. Like like to capture the whole album, you know, that's I have a feeling of one song that's gonna be the next single for the album, which contains heavy riff, like like doom metal, some black metal guitar, but also nice melodies. And that was actually meant to be the first song of the album as a starter, but we changed it. But that song is called oh, what's I just got to check really fast. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What the name was? I have it right here.
The first song of the album,
No.
the second, third one.
Oh, it's number 4. It's called the Malvolent
The
God.
Malevolent God.
Yes, I think that's gonna be one of the most defining songs of the album, in my opinion. But if you ask some of the other members, they probably have a different song. But for me, it's that one.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
then again, I like all the songs, you know. So
Oh well, we're in the metal world. The metal world I always listen the album, not just one, two songs. But
yeah,
that's the style that we raise since the
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I'm from the '80s, so I prefer to hear the music in the whole way, not just one or
yeah,
two songs. I detest this kind of new cyclic time that we're living on. So we're returning to the diversion. When I hear for the first time this album completely, you did a great songs into there. You put a lot of feelings, you put a lot of diverse sensations into there. So how do you describe, especially talking about in this aspect, the synesthesia matter? Perhaps do you hear about this synesthesia?
Synesthesia, no.
Okay, synesthesia is when a person listens to music, they see colors, they see, bueno, they smell taste, and they see they can feel taste, the taste. So if we try to relate this aspect with the feelings, sensations that I encounter in this new album, so for you, which colors, tastes, and flavors and smells that the listeners will find into this diversion?
Yeah, I mean, like I've always said this about music and art and literature, that it's very, very difficult to try to explain how a listener or a reader is going to react, because I think everyone takes art in a different way. I know when I listen to a song, my reaction is going to be different than your reaction. So it's very tough for me. It's a lot of lost hope and anger. I'm not sure how to color that, but it's talk for me. It's talking a lot about like how this world are at this moment, and can we actually do anything about it? You know, it's like for me, it's a lost hope, and hopefully we can find it once again. But it's I think it's important to also state that each person is going to have a different way of seeing that and experience it and feel it and smell it and taste it, because that's what we are as persons. We're different.
Yes.
And that's also, you know, the album Diversum. It's different.
Yeah. Okay. So we are very close to this interview, Kåre. And for that, what are the future plans that the band has for this diversion? Perhaps a European tour, perhaps a North American tour, more videos upcoming, perhaps who knows? But now with this pandemic and we create these digital concerts, who knows what?
Yeah.
Who knows? Or perhaps in the next in a common future, well, in next years, perhaps a Latin American tour. Who knows?
Who knows? That's the thing. Right now, we played. We were only supposed to play one show this year, and we ended up playing 4. I think it's not much, but it was not planned because now, you know, there's so many bands out traveling, and it's very difficult. You know, people can't, unfortunately, come to every concert that's held. But we are planning a European tour, at least in hopefully in winter time. And we already started writing material for the next In the Woods album. And it's also, we really want to travel to South America, Latin America, because we haven't been there. And we know that there's a lot of people that really want us to come. So, you know, but it's been a pandemic, it's war in Europe, and unfortunately things are more difficult now than 3 years ago, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we hopefully we can do something.
Great to know. So as I said in the first question, talking about the other aspects, as you can see now, the artificial intelligence are more prominent in the artist level, because we saw a lot of machines doing music, software doing music, and now with the new creation of the DALL-E, they create art or piece of art into the PC. So how do you see now these artificial intelligence are entering into the music world? Because in general to the artist world, because perhaps in the next couple, I think, next couple years, 2 or 5 years, we can see the first album from the software 3.2.1 and released in 2000 by Nuclear Blast, perhaps.
Well, of course, by Nuclear Blast. No, I think it all depends on the genre. I think in the typical dance music, the club music, definitely that will be a thing. I'm 100% convinced, because it doesn't. It does, but it doesn't at the same time have those human elements that the music you and me listen to most of the time has. It's in the metal music, it's about feeling, and it's still, IA still hasn't gone through what I have gone through or what you have gone through to create those emotions. So I don't think this type of music will be going down that road, to be honest. If it does, then it's over and out for the rest of us.
Well, that's a curious answer that you say that this for this music is not it's not like the electronic, like industrial and the mainstream scene. But as you can see now, if you can review YouTube, you are a lot of guitar players, drum players, so and etc etc. So yeah, as you can see now, this kind of music play like a machine. They edited they edit the guitar parts, bass parts, vocal parts, and big drum parts like a machine. So what's your opinion about that? Is because the metal, I think, compared to the mainstream world, are more using the technology than the mainstream.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. But I mean, like, if you go to YouTube and you see all these amazing players, and I mean, all credit to them, because they're very good at what they do. But like, for example, if you sample, like, let's see, one of those drummers, one of those bassists, one of those guitar players, and you try to write a song out of it, you won't get the emotion that you would have with a actual band going in and doing it, because of what happens in that moment. It's created, can't be copied by pasting or IA. But it's something that's been going for many years with these immense good players on YouTube. Most of them playing cover songs written by people in the moment,
Okay. Well, Kåre, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one, like me, doing this one. Perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metallarium followers, and the Latin fans that expect perhaps this next year In the Woods will come here to play this new album, or all staff, because we are waiting a lot for this play.
Yeah, like Latin America, South America, it's we can hear you all, and we really want to come play for you guys. Hopefully we can do it next year. I'm not gonna promise, because it's a long way to go, but hopefully we can make it happen. And also thank you so much for all the support with this new record.